In this video, I'm going to break down what I did in prison to change my concept of myself, to change my inner dialogue, to change the images in my mind, and then recreate and restructure myself to be the person that I am today. And it all began with my thoughts and my inner dialogue. I knew what I figured out after reading Neville Goddard's books and understanding the law of assumption and the law of attraction, all these things, that thoughts create the world that you're living in and your inner dialogue. And because from your thoughts and your inner dialogue, you're automatically imaging things in your mind. And when you image things from this inner dialogue, it becomes your dominant feeling state, because we know that feeling is the secret. So it all starts from your thoughts and your inner dialogue. So whatever that is, your dominant thoughts and inner dialogue are creating images in your mind, and that's your mood. It's going to be based on that feeling that's created from those images from your inner dialogue. So I knew when I figured all this out, so I got to do meditation. This is why meditation is so powerful, because it allows you to observe your thoughts. So you get quiet, you get still, you go outside of your body. And this is one of the exercises that I used to do. I would go into meditation, close my eyes, go into like a half lotus position, or just sitting down with my back straight. And then I would go outside of my body. I would imagine myself looking over myself and just observing myself, observing my thoughts, not reacting to my thoughts, not getting upset about my thoughts, just observing my thoughts, allowing them to come in and out. And I noticed that my primary thoughts were like 90% negative. They were all negative, and I was beating myself up all the time. I was upset at myself about things that I've done in the past, with things that I should have done differently, all of these things. So my inner dialogue was horrible, and it was creating all of these negative occurrences to come into my life and not allowing me to be happy. So once I observed this and I saw my inner dialogue and I saw how bad it was just by observing it, I went to the next level and started making these changes. And the first change that I made was when I found an affirmation from Charles Haanel's book, The Master Key System. I was reading this book at this time as well, while I was, under observation with my mind through these meditation techniques. And I found that this affirmation from Charles Haanel was really, really effective in changing my inner dialogue, because I would do this every day, like constantly. And then I would go back under observation in meditation to see how well it was working, because then I would observe my thoughts. And what I observed was my inner dialogue was drastically changing very, very quickly. But the first thing I had to do with this affirmation was I had to memorize it. I had to memorize the affirmation before I could affirm it without actually reading it from the book. So that was another part of developing my mind, was through memorization, just memorizing certain things and getting them into my mind, memorizing them, organizing my thoughts, and then getting control of my inner dialogue this way, and then repeating this affirmation once I did that. But I was still repeating it, from the book until I had it memorized. And the reason why this affirmation works so well is because it was completely different from my inner dialogue. So when I'm repeating, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy, my inner dialogue was forced to change, because what I was habitually affirming for myself all the time, automatically, without knowing it, was the complete opposite. I am not whole. I am not perfect. I am not powerful. I am not harmonious. All of these things I was automatically affirming in my mind. So when I started doing the opposite, when I started creating something positive to feed my negative mindset, my inner dialogue had to change with it, because I kept doing it. I was very persistent. I kept affirming. And when you affirm anything and you're very persistent with it, it's going to change your inner dialogue. It's going to change what you're habitually thinking all of the time. And when you change your thinking, you change your inner dialogue, the images in your mind are going to change. And when the thoughts create new images in the mind, then your feeling states change. And then your life will completely change. So with affirmations can be very, very powerful to create things into your world right now. I mean, I was stuck in prison when I did this, and I was just trying to create peace within myself while doing that, to be, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy while I was in prison. I wasn't trying to manifest anything into my world at that point. I was just trying to fix my inner dialogue and see what was creating and what led me to where I was in life and why I wasn't happy. And it was all based on my inner dialogue. But this affirmation absolutely changed all of that. I learned how to be happy in prison. This changed my inner dialogue. I was sleeping better. My mood was always better. And it just basically created exactly what the affirmation is. And it is, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And that it created that. When I changed my inner dialogue, it completely got me out of the depression I was in, and it just restructured my inner dialogue, my thinking, and my entire life, like my outlook on life. I started thinking positive. I started seeing the good in everything that before I got there. So no matter what I was doing, I could see the positive outlook of it, and everything just became meaningful to my life after that. And I realized that this is the reason, my inner dialogue was the reason that I needed to drink all the time, that I needed these outside substances to like put a Band-Aid on the issue, the real core issue that I was having. And that core issue was my inner dialogue. It was my thoughts. It was the moods that were created from that and the visuals I was creating and the images in my mind. All of this stuff was creating this, and I was trying to find something outside of myself to fix this. But the entire time, all it was within me, and I needed to look within me and repair the issues that I had within me. So if your outlook on life right now isn't positive, and you know that there's something within you that just doesn't feel right, or you're always needing something outside of yourself to make you happy, then look on your inside. I'm going to challenge you right now. I'm going to challenge you to go under observation, to go into a meditation and just observe your thoughts. Do this for just a few minutes. Just observe your thoughts and see where they're going. Don't react to them. Don't get upset. Just watch the thoughts as they come in and then observe them as they go out. Don't try to fight them at all. Don't be like, oh, I don't want that thought. Get rid of that thought. Don't do that. Just allow the thought to come into your mind and watch it. You're just observing. You just want to see where the inner dialogue is and without getting upset about it. And once you locate this, once you see more negative things and you start to see the core roots and problems of where your mind is habitually going, you can then start repeating this affirmation. Then you can start doing this all day long. And the first thing you need to do is memorize it. It is, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Repeat this, memorize it, then repeat it over and over as many times as you can during the day. Write it down at first, take it with you, read it, study it until you can memorize it, until you can say it over and over and over 10 times fast. Once you can say it 10 times fast, over and over and over, then you have it memorized. Then it's going to be ingrained within your inner dialogue, and now it's going to be reproducing a new life for you. So I want you to do this today. It's going to produce drastic results in your life. It's going to do exactly what the affirmation is. It's going to change your inner dialogue, change the images, change your mood, change your feeling states. And then you're going to start creating the life that you want to live. So I'm challenging you to do this immediately. Try this immediately. And if you know anyone in your life that has substance abuse or is going through things in their life, they're just depressed, their life is not going the way that it should be going, and they're just unhappy, share this video with them and teach them how to meditate, how to change their inner dialogue, how to change their life and not be addicted to outside substances for their own happiness. Find their happiness within. Find your happiness within. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. Don't forget to give me one thing you guys are grateful for in the box below, and I'll see you in the next video.